Hello, buddy. It's Aim Guy here, and welcome back to Benny and the Dark Revival. There was a new update that dropped that gave us the archives. So basically, it's like a look into the game, which I didn't think they would release because of how this game is designed. But I mean, uh, sorry, I'm a little tired. Just woke up and I instantly remembered that I had to make this video. So let's just hop into it. I have no idea what's gonna. I'm assuming it's just gonna show. They did this with Bendy and Link Machine, so I'm assuming they are doing it for this. Welcome. Welcome to the archives. Bendy and the Dark Rival is filled with numerous characters that each had a critical role to play in the progression of the game. Here in the archives, you will learn a little bit more about them in an up-close and personal way. Feel free to explore. Oh, wow. Why is my sensitivity so low? Bendy, the iconic imp was designed for Dark Rival to stand out a bit from his traditional cartoon appearance by giving him a suit of clothes. He posed some minor challenges, specifically creating a face and sported the classic Bendy eerie smile, but still managed to be heartwarming in the right conditions. He's a fan favorite, so his design had to be just right during production. We originally envisioned Bendy to talk with a series of cute squeaks to contrast the dark, low voice of the Ink Demon, but this turned out to be very distracting and the idea was scrapped pretty early on. Wilson was the default character to balance FRs. The players are purposely led to believe that he is a one-note character, obviously evil with an over-the-top villain personality. But as soon as the story progresses, we see other sides of the character and the player becomes muddled with who this man really is. In one draft, Wilson was written as a servant of Nathan Ark Jr., a separate character at the time, but the story made for more sense when the two characters become one, eliminating a lot of needless narrative complexity. I see Archie back there. What is she doing? Why is she staring at me like that? I don't like that. Why? Why? Why are they doing that? They gotta stop doing that. Okay. Archie's a kind-hearted rogue with courage, determination, some flaws, and a deep, dark past to make our story work. We needed a newcomer to the cartoon studio world, and Archie was the perfect fresh eyes to help experience the adventure. From day one of production, we knew that if people didn't connect with Archie by the end of the game, I'm too tired for this. The game itself wouldn't be successful. Fortunately, she turned out to be quite memorable indeed and stands out from the other members of the cast. Damn straight. Ink Machine, designed by Thomas Connor of the Gent Corporation, stolen by Joey Drew, retrieved by H. Arc Gate, and once again reclaimed by Jen. The Ink Machine's next adventure is a mystery. I think we know what the next adventure is, to be exact. Because, I have a theory. After I completed the game and I saw that post-credit scene or whatever, I did think that what they're gonna do is... Because the only way they can make another game, because we already know everything about, this world. We know what... we know what started this all. We know about Joey Drew's intentions with the Ink Machine. We know everything about it, right? But, so, it would be impossible to make a second game unless they do something where the Gen Company is basically an evil company, which, I mean, was pretty much a given when playing the game. You could clearly tell that the Gen Company was definitely, they were definitely evil. So, what I'm thinking they're gonna do, since they stole the Ink Machine, is they're gonna use it for their own personal gain. Well, technically, okay, so Thomas technically worked for the Gent Corporation. So, therefore, I think Tom just took his machine back, but doesn't understand what's actually going on with the machine. Because at the time when these monsters were created and brought to the real world, right, they weren't really, how do I put this? They were definitely, like, evil and stuff like that, and Thomas wasn't exactly on board with it, even though Thomas was the one who created, actually, the first Bendy, which we saw in the original Bendy and Ink Machine. So, I think what they're going to do is we're going to end up going on an adventure with Audrey again. We're going to play as her again for the next game. And we're going to end up having to stop the Gen Corporation from using the machine for evil, because I think that maybe the Gen Corporation is just kind of corrupted now after, you know, the events of, like, Ink Machine and Dark Revival. I think they're just now corrupted, and they're going to use the machine for their own puzzle game. And that's a small little theory, but that's not important. The Ink Demon. As the world of Dark Revival becomes more complex and established, we realize the Ink Demon's design needed a complete rethink to match our new tone. Previous versions of his appearance looked absolutely silly when placed in the world alongside the other characters. No amount of creepy music or screen effects could conceal how out of place he looked. The Ink Demon needed to look different than everything else in the world, and show natural progression of the Ink Demon's evolution as illusion held the cycle in place. Well, I mean, so there was other versions of him. I wonder if they're in the archive somewhere. Oh, hold on, guys. I'm trying to wake myself up with the cupcake. Don't mind me. Hang on, I got this. Yeah. Beast Bendy. Returning to the climax of Dark Revival, Beast Bendy also was revisited with the mindset of making him for more powerful and beast-like. Traditionally, in most horror games, they're trying to build up to a point where the main villain becomes a final form monster. As a final boss is practical, it's practically a trope. Our idea, what if you got to play as that final form instead? You know what? I love that part of the game. It was probably one of the best parts of the game. The Psycho Breakers. The original Psycho Breaker. So this is Henry Stein, obviously the main protagonist from the last game. Henry Stein is a ghost of a man who lost his purpose years ago. He wants feud with finding a way to escape the tortures of the Ink Demon, finding his way home to his wife. Henry is now left with the cold reality of being a recreation of the person he thought he was. Saved as a special surprise for fans for the Bendy and Ink Machine game, Henry was strictly omitted from all public discussion of the character during the entire production, which spanned several years, but Henry returned with a very satisfying face reveal. It was pretty satisfying. I actually really liked that. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, oh my god, are they about to give us Henry? And well, they did. And I loved it. I mean, this game took 3 years to make. Well, honestly, this is honestly just a call out to the fans, to be honest. I really liked it. Oh, Allison. Returning for another victory over the Ink Demon, Allison is always the voice of reason. A beacon of hope. Allison's design was carefully upgraded from the previous Bendy and Ink Machine game to maintain her personality. There was more fidelity. The purpose of meeting Allison so early in the campaign was to introduce the player to a familiar face after the main introduction. At the start, Allison was able to serve as a motivating force for Audrey until the true plot kicked in later. So I think this is just explaining why they did what they did and how they did it. Honestly, that's good for them, because honestly, I do wonder why they did certain choices anyway. Thomas Allison, Silent Protector, and the only Boris clone involved in the main story. Where is Boris the Wolf? Rumor has it that during the events of the game, Boris is experiencing a dark rival story of its own. Oh, it's a dark survival story of his own. Okay. Okay. So I see what they did there. So during the events of Dark Survival, Boris was doing his own thing, which is where we got Boris in the Dark Survival. Okay. So Boris in the Dark Survival and Benny in the Dark Survival take place at the same exact time. That is I like that they included that. Now, I still think that there might be more with Boris because if you saw, I actually saw a couple things after I beat the game. That Boris is actually there's a couple Easter eggs of him, like just like you can just see him walking away, walking in a vent. So he's still in the studio somewhere. We just don't know where. Oh, the man himself, Joey Drew, the man, the legend, the memory, created this version of Joey Drew. It was both an exciting and daunting process. It was clear from the start that this Joey would be different from the other one from the original Benny and Ink game. This is a man with all the guilt from a past life, but without the experience to fully understand it. The real Joey made many mistakes, but ultimately learned from them. That doesn't absolve him of the sins, but at the end of his life, he was able to help correct some of them and help fight the darkness he created. Well, I mean, he's got that going. Hey, Betty. Betty, a faithful maid among other things to Wilson. Betty was a failed, important character to the story of Dark Revival. Betty was an important character to the story of Dark Revival. As a failed experiment and some relatively new to the cartoon studio, she was able to give a somewhat different point of view on the state of the world. We have purposely left it unclear if Betty was in on Wilson's plot to harvest Audrey, or if she is just a bystander. Behind her mask, there are still answers to be found. Okay, so they are trying to set up another game to kind of explain things, and if they are, Betty's definitely going to be coming back, because she said that she's an important character. So, it's got to mean something, right? Alright, let's go see what Audrey's up to. Okay, so this is just like a little thing to just show the thing. No, you can't have it, Audrey. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, that's great. Nathan Arch Sr. Nathan Arch was everything Joey Drew wasn't. He worked hard, built up from nothing, and never compromised his integrity. Joey had a big dream, but Nathan accomplished his own dreams. He and his wife Tessa raised a son with as much love and care as they could despite Nathan's career pressure. Sadly, his son did not share Nathan's natural talent for business and enterprise. Okay. The unknowing daughter of an animation pioneer, Audrey has blocked out the memory of her past after losing her father, but his role in her life was not over. A talented animator and artist, her skills landed her a job at Artgate. Was it fate that led her to reunite with Joey Drew's machine, the machine of her birth, or was it planned? Good question, good question. Oh, good question. Listen, haunted by the impossible shadow of Nathan Arch, Wilson sought to archive something that would make his father proud by luck. I stumbled upon the ink machine and was able to become the cartoon world's new monster. Holding the cycle in place, he continues his experiments that could not fully be realized until the ink demon was purged. However, unnaturally entering to and from the ink realm has taken a toll on Wilson's physical being, slowly robbing him of the health. Wait. So the reason he's the way he is, like how he's so like de-aged and stuff and looks like he's dying, is because he literally is. He's going from the ink realm to the real world, and it's like it's killing him is what it's doing. It's legit killing him. That's crazy. And yeah, it basically says he's the new monster. So, like, Wilson was, like, a bigger threat than Bendy was. Well, at least he was trying to be. Till I, sauteed him. You ain't gotta worry about that. Where's this? Artist Fest. Oh. Oh, and that's how you probably leave. Yeah. Alright. The Keepers. Wilson's deadly guards and scientists, they aren't perfect, but the Keepers will get the job done. No matter the cost, they are responsible for pressing the ink demon inside a smaller form, keeping his power sealed away until Audrey came along and unknowingly changed the situation. The Keepers were visually designed to reflect the dangers and evils of the ink machine itself, faceless beings made of gears and wires, and no sense of morality. Ordered around like cattle, a creation living without purpose. So they're basically just designed to kill. Got it. The Butcher Gang. Wait, yeah, okay. So it's literally just the same thing over and over again. Barley, Charlie, and Edgar, the 3 original members of the Butcher Gang, were formed from the ink machine deconstructed by Alice Angel for body parts, and bond together to stay alive with sneak attacks on their prey. In Dark Revival, we meet an artificial 4th member of the gang, Carly, the Ghost Girl. Although, when you begin to examine her closely, Carly appears to only be a shell, and perhaps someone inside. Oh no, that no. Bro, she is creepy as all hell. Like, look at that face. Oh my god, it looks like they designed it to where it looks like she's always looking at you. I don't know if that's, yeah, that is unsettling. That is very unsettling, and I hate it. I seriously wish that they had a bigger role. Because the lead up to Dark Revival, like, literally almost all the promotional material, which I will be making a video on this sometime, I don't know when. I have to actually get, I had to get footage for it so I can make the video. But I am going to make a video about pros and cons, and this is going to be on it. Is that a lot of the promotional material was promoting these guys to have a huge role in this game. Because, like, literally almost every trailer, every teaser had something to do with the Butcher Gang, and it was so upsetting to find out that they were just like a threat, a minor threat. Like, literally all they did was show up maybe like a few times. Like, I barely had a problem with these guys. Like, they didn't do enough damage to kill me or anything like that. They showed up, twice or whatever, and like freaking Barley over here, or Charlie, whatever the fuck his name is, he was like the biggest like reveals. Like, he was like kept showing up all the fucking time. I don't know. It is frustrating to me. I don't get it. As the cycle was held in place, and with the influence of the event held at bay, the cartoon world was able to grow in advance, creating such characters as Porter, the Lost One, who came to claim a new identity as an explorer. Porter was written with the knowledge that Dark Revival would feature a far more serious tone with the first game of Bendy and the Ink Machine, and his light-hearted innocence would help the player feel some warmth in this inky world of sorrow. To date, Heidi. It is believed that Heidi has spent some time in the pit, a prison set up by Wilson and the Keepers. It is unclear why, but mostly likely she was able to access places she shouldn't have. The experience in the pit changed her, as it does many, reverting her into a childlike state, longing for happiness again. Yeah, we never actually saw what was in the pit, and I feel like they should have revealed that, and I feel like they didn't reveal it for a reason. And it's a coming. Oh. Sammy Lawrence, the famous music composer of the studio, Sammy Lawrence originally had a slightly longer role in the story of Dark Rival, but in a story already filled with so many characters, making them all play a meaningful part became a challenge. He was ultimately sidelined in favor of telling a more coherent storyline, although it is interesting to note that Sammy Lawrence appears to have mastered the flow ability in Benny Link Machine long before Porter and Archie could wield it. Wait, so Sammy had the ability? Sammy had the fucking flow ability. That's how he's able to travel through the fucking walls. That's fucked up, man. Oh, hello. Self-appointed queen of the studio, Alice Angel is one of the most memorable faces in the Bendy world. Forever lost in a tide of insanity, she is an absolute delight to write for as a character. An angel with many layers, time will only tell if this inky tempest will ever reappear. Yeah, they're definitely setting up another game. Like, that's just clear by how they're saying everything. Oh. Amok, ruler of a sewer cult, Lord Amok illustrates how the world of the Ing had continued to develop into different societies deep within the dark places. Though he was weak in a fight, his name will simply never die. So it was a cult. I mean, I probably should have guessed that by how it was going, but I mean, all right. Whoa, you, hello. The demented invention of Wilson created to solve the dual purpose of dethroning the ink demon in the cartoon world, and also upstaging Joey Drew in the eyes of Wilson's father, Nathan Arch. Neither of these happened. Shipper Hoy Dudley is a mysterious sailor with his own eerie grin, similar so that Bendy, along with his sidekick Crackly Crab, it is unknown just what kind of cartoon adventure they would have had together. The Lurker, or Steve, as he became to be known, was originally created as a brute type enemy that would free roam the way Lost Ones do, but ultimately felt unnecessary as the random ink and demon encounters already fulfilled the role of putting in the player on edge while exploring previous traversed locations. In the end, the Lurker found a much better calling as an unlikely ally, effectively expanding him into more than just a typical enemy. Okay, so he was definitely going to be an enemy, but they just kind of wanted to change it. Hello. Ink widows have begun to infest where the light grows darkest. Their king, the big and most feared, will only emerge from the nest when its young are threatened. Alright. I think that's all. I think we got to them all. I don't think there's anything else. We have no body. We are bodiless. The archives. But damn. I'm actually kind of glad. I was wondering if they were going to do something like this, because I feel like this was just kind of necessary to kind of get us to understand what they were thinking for different games and stuff. But they're definitely, like, from how they're saying stuff in these messages, it's almost as if they're trying to hint that they are making another game. But obviously they're taking a break because Bendy and the Dark Rival took so long to make. Like, a ridiculous amount of time to make. So, I'm just gonna have to say that they're probably gonna wait a little bit. You know, let Dark Rival fully finish up, and then they are going to make the next game. I like that. I do think they do need to take a break. I mean, Bendy and the Dark Rival took a very long time to do, so you know. But anywho, guys, that was the archives. I really like that they added it because honestly, it was probably needed. Mainly because we just needed to know what their thoughts were when making the game. Oh, I just clicked into it again like an idiot. Okay, hold on. But no, guys. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more Bendy content on the channel. I do want to make a little, my first, like, big edited video, for the pros and cons. Oh, no. Pros and cons of Bendy and the Dark Rival. Not sure when that will drop. I still have to go through and get some footage done for you guys and stuff like that. But on that note, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.